We all agree that a supercar is beautiful to drive, but there is another essential quality, and that is style. Without a beautiful style, you won't get very far, and in this video, we'll show you how the design of a dream car with the raging bull on the hood was born. So let's talk about Lamborghini design, which has experienced an extraordinary revolution in the past decade. Not only because in Sant'Agata Bolognese they were the first to design a super SUV like the Urus, which we're driving today, but also, and above all else, because the brand of the Bull has managed to rise in the world of the most desired cars in the world, winning thousands of new customers and millions of fans.
Hello Mitya, buongiorno, good morning. Thank you.
To understand how the Lambos of today and tomorrow take shape, we were given access to the Style Centre, directed by Mitya Burkert, a usually secret place where an international team of 50 modelling designers work every day to transmit emotion through standard Lamborghini styling, a one-off, or even a prototype designed to test public reaction to things like the new supercar concept of the Huracan Stirato. On these monitors, they work on the exterior and the interior design, which includes fittings and choice of materials. They define the mathematics and everything they need before getting to the physical models that they turn into reality. And here we are in the presentation room of the Style Centre, where the drawings literally take shape. But what we want to understand is where the inspiration for drawing a Lamborghini comes from. And we'll ask Mitya how he draws a Lamborghini.
So, to design a Lamborghini, what do we need?
A big road or a special road or something?
You know, for me, it needs not so much. You know, for me, you need one line.
One line.
You need this line. I have a little private story when because I always start like this, the profile of a Lamborghini. I did this at home, and my son at that time, he was like 2 years old. He came to my desk and was saying, "Papa is a Lamborghini."
Okay.
And it made me think, because when you look at our cars, you just need this single center line.
Okay.
That was present already on the Countach, and it is in the Aventador, it is in the Terzo Millennio. It is the line that you need to recognize a Lamborghini. So everything is starting with this. Then when you see our cars, and you see perfectly also on the Terzo Millennio, but on the Huracan, also on the Urus, a Lamborghini in front view, you need to have the profile shape really with a lot of angle on the side windows, because this makes a Lamborghini very recognizable. So I need this single center line. I need this kind of proportion.
Okay.
And then it's almost a Lamborghini. Small little lines important. They came also from the Countach. Marcello Gandini was designing them also on the Uraco, for example, and we have visualized them with the illumination on our Terzo Millennio. Are these diagonal lines here? So those ones I need also. And this is more or less what I need to create a Lamborghini.
Well, said in this way, it sounds simple, but it's obviously not simple. It's sure that a brand like Lamborghini has a very strong DNA, and designing these kind of cars is very inspiring. And Mitya told us that the creative ideas are daily. When he has an idea, he writes it down in his sketchbook, in his personal secret diary, and that inspiration can take place at any time, like for everyone, in the shower, whilst travelling or talking with friends or colleagues. It may be the result of an input from the management asking you to prepare a new model, but it can be an independent idea. It can be developed and proposed by the Styling Centre. And it happened like this for the third millennium. A concept that looks to the future and starting with children.
Now we made, was also, you talk about dream. It was one of the dreams when we created the Terzo Millennio. I was sharing the idea with the team. I said I would like to have this UFO, this kind of, disco volante, this kind of dream. I would like to show it around in places around Sant'Agata, Bolognese. So
to see the effect
to
of
see
a
the
car
effect.
like this.
So, and one of the, let's say, the iconic moments was when we took the concept car in Nonantola, that is a small town very close, in front of a school, and we took 4-year-old, one class of 4-year-olds to show, and the video was also running in the internet quite heavily. So we took the car in front of the school. I took the children, and then together we have unveiled the concept car there, and they went crazy. They were Italian children. They were really like. Un toro, a bull, una Lamborghini. So they were really going crazy, and was overwhelming also my expectation, because the energy that was created in this moment was so amazing. So it is one of my, let's say, really heart-touching moments, Lamborghini moments, or car design moments that I had in my life.
Is irrepressible, but even an adult hardly remains indifferent to the third millennium and the power of a visionary design that isn't just fed by the future, but also by stylistic elements that have made history.
So, for example, today you will see a lot of the Y shape, the Y shape. For example, the Aventador is using this in the front lights. The Huracan is having 2 of them in the front lights. So everything was born on the Marzal in 1967. So, for example, the side door was designed with an hexagon. But also, for example, the Miura in the 1966 was using rear mesh full with hexagons. So that was, like I said, the strong element in the 60s. So they were using this. Then in the 2000s, when the designers created the Gallardo, the Murcielago de Reventon, Lamborghini was using the Y shape as a night signature. So I don't know if it's visible here, but here you have the Y, exactly. So this is more or less the junction of the hexagon. Yeah, so you have the hexagon and the junction is the Y shape. So this is Lamborghini, and when you see the sketch overall, we're using on the Terzo Millennio this as a signature in the future. So as you can see on our
l'evoluzione della Y del pezzo di esagono.
Yes.
Chiaro?
And this will be from now on, and you will see it also very soon in production. This will be the night signature of Lamborghini as a strong element in the future.
Returning to the process of the genesis of design, after that sketching phase in which they collect as many ideas as possible, they're then scanned and digitized, and the best proposals to be presented to the leadership are given the approval to go ahead next to scale modeling.
This is the next step. I mean, this I can show you based on the Urus, for example. Yeah? We have prepared here one model. So, the size that I personally like very much is a 3rd scale.
Okay.
In the 80s, in the 70s, maybe it was a quarter scale. It was always famous in the car industry, the 1:4 model. But that changed in the late 90s, early 2000s into 3rd scale, because like this they look a little bit more like a car.
Okay.
So, and on this model here, I can explain very well also the following process. So once we are happy with such a shape, and we have maybe a 3D printed small model, I will say, let's have the next step. I want to see it in 3rd scale. Sometimes we are even moving into full size.
Chiaro. Questo è clay.
Yes, this is a clay model.
Materiale.
Yes.
Okay.
So, for example, what we have there as a data, we would start to mill.
Okay.
So here is, this is representing all the, the milling moves, unfinished. So the next step would be, and this is always important, it is always, handwork. It's not only the idea that you need to have, but you need to create this car then by hand.
Okay.
And by hand means with the talented hands of Gianpietro here. And then it's always about the relation between the design modeler and the designer.
Okay.
Because you know, as you see here, it's all brown. You don't see maybe so much. So, for example, you know, once we are modeling, I will put some tapes on the model, also myself, to see what we are creating. This is a way to communicate between each other. So, for example, I need to test the shape of the front light. So, with the tape, I can try. I can put him a line. I can also here. I can have a definition on the front lights. And you know, the tape is so flexible. If I don't like a radius that I've taped, I can put it again. Yeah. So it's you know, in the end of the day, design has to be as much as possible flexible during the process.
The models are painted and carefully finished with pieces like the wheels, the aerodynamic elements printed in 3D because they'll be presented to the company board and they'll have to approve, or not, any changes. And when the green light appears on the overall stylistic design, then confrontation can begin with the engineers as they require other changes to be approved periodically before arriving at the so-called design freeze. Well, it's a long process that takes up to 2.5 years of patience and so much teamwork. Let's find out more about tape drawing. That's drawing with ribbons that you've seen on the clay model. One of the favourite techniques for designers to share their perspectives during meetings with colleagues. And here's how it works.
For me, and I'm telling you, it's still relevant also today. So first of all, you need to have your sketch. I did this sketch before. So you put your sketch on the wall.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if we are now in 95 or 2020. This is everybody that wants to do car design will have to go through this period. So take your sketch. You know, when I was younger, I took always my sketch and made little wooden models in the garage of my father. You know, because you need to understand what you have.
La fisicità, il
Yeah,
fisico.
you need to have this moment from the 2D sketching into the three-dimensional shape. And the first step is this kind of tape drawing. You can start to sketch. You can look how low is my front on the car. I can do the fender.
Quindi ora stiamo facendo una terzo millennio.
And it's also, I don't know, it's depending also on your mood of the day, huh? So first of all, you can sketch the side view. And again, you don't need to be scared because you can, you know,
You can change every time.
You know, if you don't like it, you take it away. So you do the silhouette. It will take a couple of hours. Now, and now I cannot do it immediately for you, but I can show you. I can show you the principle how to do. So it's an easy way to translate your side view or your three-quarter view into a three-dimensional shape. And this you can do in a smaller scale like I'm doing now.
So with a few taped lines, the car begins to take shape. It looks like a game, but Mitja explained to us that taping is very important to train the designers to work without computers. The traits that characterize the styling can then be better evaluated. You can move them in the most physical sense of the term to decide how to improve the balance of the proportions of the car, the dynamics, because it really is just a matter of lines.
So Ale, you want to try as well?
Io penso di poter fare qualche danno, ma dai.
No, you cannot do. You know, like I said, it's very flexible.
Sembra un pezzo di scotch molto semplice. Where I have to put the line?
What you think you want to do? I mean, you can. I don't know. It's missing maybe the lights, or it's missing a line here.
Okay. The lights, I think is. But
the lights would be here, for example.
Okay.
Like this. then after we take a look at the full-size model.
Okay. And then also this part, I think.
Yeah,
we can
this
add
line is missing.
this line.
It's quite easy there.
È tutto un gioco di linee. Ma a proposito di linee, Mitja, voglio approfittare, visto che abbiamo qui te e la macchina, se puoi spiegarci qualcosa in più della Terzo Millennio, che è un'auto che abbiamo visto in diversi saloni dell'auto, è un'auto che è una wow car. Quanto c'è di concreto, di reale, di quello che potremmo vedere in una Lamborghini del futuro su un'auto così?
First of all, I can visualize, what I told you before on the car. I can switch on the lights, so you can see immediately what I told before about the night signature of Lamborghini. So all the front, for example, is designed with an hexagon, and then we are using this kind of Y, Y shape, to dress the illumination of the car. It's for me. It's containing all the elements of Lamborghini that I explained before. The Gandini line, the single center line, but with a complete new different interpretation. So the car is much more kept forward because the pilots are sitting quite in front. So that's why we have placed the main point, the tension point of that line a bit further forward. And then we wanted to question the architecture of a Lamborghini. Because when you, for example, compare the Terzo Millennio with the Huracan, you can see the big jump in terms of architecture we are doing with this one. So there's a lot of air channels. We wanted to emphasize in the design also that we are kind of leading the technology with aerodynamics and so on. So the car is like a super ala system. There's a lot of plan shape. My favorite view, for example, is the one from here. When you catch that with the camera, it's quite impressive. There's a lot of plan shape, the straight lines here, but also here we are using these kind of Countach lines, the diagonal lines, in a different kind of way. Also here we have a kind of a Y shape, Y shape. So the car is designed with all the passion and with all the love to the Lamborghini design, but in a complete unexpected way, because it's a potential electrical car. Also, I like very much the wheels. The wheels are also visualizing what is possible today with 3D printing, for example.
Okay.
Because when you look in detail, we wanted to visualize that the electrical motor is sitting within the wheel, so that's why we have illuminated pieces going around the wheel in a very sophisticated kind of way, and the wheel is transporting already in the design that it wants to be an electrical engine. So that was the inspiration for the design. And then in the same moment we are combining this with the Y shape, the Y shape on the spokes.
Y everywhere.
Yes. So this is for me, how we dress our cars, or for example, the body side. So the people are sitting really close together, like our philosophy, feel like a pilot. So you feel like driving a race car. And we are using all this space here. I mean, usually when you compare with Huracan, you have more interior space and the door is here. But look where we have placed the door, or the center volume of the car is so deep inside, so it is allowing us to have a very dramatic kind of airflow and architecture on our Terzo Millennio.
Ma una configurazione proprio della carrozzeria così estrema è possibile in una Lamborghini di serie? Deve essere proprio la top model delle Lambo? Ci state lavorando? Si può dire qualcosa?
For me, this car at the moment is like a vision, is like a dream. Is like Marcello Gandini's, Strato Zero. This is something maybe we look back in 20 years and then we say, look, they have done this already,
Okay.
And for me, it is kind of a visualization of what is possible in the next 10 years.
Okay.
It's also kind of a playground for us here in Centro Stile Lamborghini to visualize and also to experience a couple of shapes that you will see in the future on future Lamborghinis.
And thanks to the experiments made on the third millennium, Lamborghini has decided on the evolution of their design traits and the looks of their cars, from the first official application on those that we've seen on the hybrid cars seen and presented at the Frankfurt Motor Show, but also ones we'll see very soon on other models. Meanwhile, Mitja has started to draw again, and I don't know if he has time to finish this third millennium.
I would think I will need 1 or 2 hours more.
Okay.
They're never really finished, those tape drawings, because you will always come back next day and see something that you want to change.
Okay, here's an idea. How about we go back to Rome and take this with us to finish?
Okay, sounds good, let's do it.
Si può fare?
Yeah?
Andiamo,
let's do it.
vai.
Okay.